Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. So glad you're here. A musketeer decided he just wanted to one-up Shanti, and instead of being on the mat, he wants you to get his tail. Hi, buddy. My crew is all here. I would like to make it known that I actually do not gather them for class. I do not be like, hey guys, here's some treats, come join yoga. Uh, they just magically run downstairs. They like get themselves out of bed when they hear me setting up for this class, and they run down the stairs and join in. So they're just very excited to see you as well. This is Musketeer. This is Shanti. She'll peace out here pretty soon. And I'm Mikki, if you've not practiced with me before. Perfectly timed. Good morning, Rachel. So glad you're here with us. Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Amy. If you did not see my note in the chat, I'm going to recommend today for this morning's practice to grab a strap or something that works like a strap. So you've got the option of a yoga strap if you own one of those. If you don't own a yoga strap, a dish towel or a hand towel will work just as nicely. A bath towel can also work. I'm going to use this one that one of my students got me that says, everything happens for a Riesling. You're welcome. But a bath towel, shower towel would work as well. It just gets a little bit cumbersome because it's longer. A bathrobe strap, a shirt that you don't mind having stretched out, all of those are great. So we are going to move for about an hour and just going through some poses and movements to help us connect with ourselves this morning. We do a lot of things throughout the week that we have to do. And when we come to our yoga mat, especially on Saturday mornings, this should all feel kind of optional, right? I'm going to give you a bunch of options. You do the things that you need and feel good, skip the things that you don't. And if you just find yourself needing some stillness, feel free at any point to lay down or take a seat and just listen to the calming effect of my voice. You just stay and connect with yourself. We're going to get started on our backs laying down. If you want to use the playlist, good morning, Wendy. If you would like to use the playlist for class, it is in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. And you could go ahead and push play now if you'd like. So coming down onto our back to get started this morning, let your legs settle either bent or straight in a way that encourages your low back to really release and soften into the ground. And then let's start with our hands connecting to our body this morning. So I'm going to say bring your right hand onto your belly, your left hand sort of off to the side of the chest where the heart is located. If that's uncomfortable for you for any reason, you could do both hands on belly instead. And let's blink the eyes to closed if that's comfortable. And take a full breath in here. And let's all open the mouth and let it go. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling fully, completely. And open your mouth, let it go. And begin to let your breath settle in and out through the nose. And let's start to breathe here this morning, to exist here this morning in a way that has meaning and in a way that has intention. We do, I don't know about you, but I do a lot of mindless things throughout the week, right? Of all the breaths I take without even thinking about them, the scrolling I do on social media without being checked in and present, the TV watching, all of those moments where our mind just sort of checks out of the moment. And the thing that differentiates all of the breaths we take throughout the week versus our yoga breath is meaning and intention. Right? So showing up here and not just continuing this act of autopilot passive breathing, but starting to infuse a purpose here, a meaning, or even an intention for this breath. And then the diligence, the actual hard part for many of us of this practice is not poses, is trying to stay this meaningful and this intentional and present with ourselves for the duration of our practice. And when it becomes about that, then the perfection of the shapes and the poses becomes much less important. And just a couple more breaths here, settling in this morning. Infusing meaning and intention into what you're doing right here in this moment. And then let's take both of your arms, reach them up overhead. Legs again can still be either bent or straight. And just feel yourself stretching off the week, whatever gravity has weighed down in your body, whatever stress has gotten stuck in your body, just stretch it out. And we're going to bring your right knee into your chest. We're going to grab onto the right hamstring. Again, left leg can still be bent or straight. Just make sure your low back is comfortable. And as you grab onto that hamstring, I want you to start here this morning by actually pressing the hamstring away from you into your hands, and the hands are going to resist back. So you're going to create just a little bit of a non-violent battle between your hands and your leg. See if the two sides of your low back can stay even and heavy on the ground. And then as you exhale this next time, you're going to let that battle subside. Use your hands to bring that right leg in nice and close. And then we're going to do that 2 more times. So create that battle again. Leg pushing into the hands, hands resisting back. Maintain that for a full cycle of breath. And then with your next exhale, let everything release and just bring that leg in nice and close. 1 more time. Push away. Establish that even and equal effort in and out of the hands and the leg. Hold and maintain for a full breath. And then with your exhale, let it go and let that leg come in and just really soften into the belly. And then we'll release the right leg next to the left. Arms go up overhead, get long. And then other side. Left leg comes in, we'll grab onto that hamstring. Start by establishing that battle. Left leg pushing into the hands, hands resisting back. Just notice your low back here, and can the two sides of your low back feel like they're doing relatively the same thing? And then with your next exhale, soften, release. Let your arms pull that leg in. All right, 2 more times. Press. Establish that battle. I'm starting to create some ease and release in the hips. And then turn the low back. With your next exhale, soften, bring the leg in. 1 more time. Leg presses into the hands. Hands resist back. And then exhale, soften, release, bring that leg all the way in. And then let's bring your right knee into your chest as well. And from there, we're going to keep the knees bent, lower the feet to the ground. Let the feet be just about as wide as your hips. And we're going to bring your arms by your sides into what I call T-Rex arms. I know other people call them robot arms. You can decide what you want to be this morning. If you're doing T-Rex arms, you could make little T-Rex claws. But regardless of what you're creating with your hands and arms, we're going to use that arm shape to plug your outer shoulders into the ground. So just kind of press those upper arms into the floor. Feel your shoulders release into the ground. Feel a little bit of an air bubble form beneath your upper back. And then let's keep that work in the arms and the upper back. Press into your feet. Start to lift your hips up any amount. That's going to be your inhale breath. And then for your exhale, lower those hips back down to the ground, but try to keep the upper arms and the outer shoulders pressing into the floor. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale, press into the feet, lift. Let the front of the hips open. And exhale, lower, lower, lower. Without any rush, 3 more times at the pace that you're breathing. The whole inhale to hit the pinnacle of your lift there. And the entire exhale to return to the floor. 2 more times. Last one. We're going to keep the hips lifted this time. Option to keep the hands where they're at. Option, if it feels okay, to take your hands, lift them toward the sky, elbows come off the floor. Option to take your hands, reach them back up and overhead. Just make sure your neck is happy, your shoulders are happy. Let your gaze be straight up toward the sky. And then nice and slow, let those hips come down, let your arms lower down by your sides. And let's bring both knees into your chest again, and let's start to rock and roll up and down your spine. And up and over we go into your table pose. As you find your table, let's do the musketeer pose. Exhale, cat. Rounded spine, head falls forward. And inhale, belly drops, head and heart lengthen forward, moving into cow. I'm feeling extra punny this morning. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lengthening. Couple more rounds at your breath pace there, and using this movement, this shape, to start to sync up the movement of body and breath. Also using it to get into those tight and grumpy spaces along the spine. Let's take maybe 2 or 3 more rounds here, depending on the pace in which you're moving. And I want you to start to sort of feel the halfway point between cat and cow. Start to feel the flat back, the length of the spine. And when you're ready with an inhale, let's settle into your table pose. Finding that length from the tailbone through the back of the neck. From here, we're going to stretch your right leg back. So option 1 is toes on the floor. Option 2 are toes coming off the ground, leg flying. And then if you want a little bit more this morning, just honoring where you're at this Saturday morning, left arm can go forward if you'd like. Press down into that left shin. Feel sort of an underbody rebound, right? So as the left shin pushes down, instead of feeling like gravity is winning, resist gravity. And then just depending on where you're at with your breath, with your body, energy this morning, maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to bend that back knee. Now, don't get excited. Just bend the back knee. Take your left hand, start to reach back. Still don't get excited. Try no shenanigans, no kind of funky pretzeling to get the foot. Just simply start to let the foot and the hand pull toward each other. If they find each other, great. If not, just keep drawing them toward one another. One more breath, resist gravity in your midsection, and then get long once again and let that hand and shin come on down to the ground. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat, all the way back into your child's pose. Let those knees go as wide as you need to. Let the big toes come together. Let the forehead find ground or maybe your hands. Settling here just for a couple breaths that you and your body know that this pose is here for you anytime you need it this morning. And then we'll come back up into table. Left leg stretches back. Feel that line from back heel through the leg, through the spine. Maintain that or float your left leg off the ground. The work is really the same in all of them, right? And it really has nothing to do, it has a tiny bit to do with the physical postures. More to do with that meaning and intention. Can you stay really present with your breath and whatever intention and meaning you've infused into your practice this morning? Maybe the right hand goes forward because that helps you to accomplish part of that meaning and intention. Stay here or bend that left leg. And again, just try not to get excited, especially those of you that do a lot of yoga and know what that means. Right hand reaches back if you want. And then no pretzeling, no shenanigans. Just simply let the foot start to pull in toward the butt. Let that hamstring engage. Let the right hand reach further toward the foot. If they find each other, wonderful. But if they don't Don't worry about it. Just let them lengthen toward one another. And then get long, hand forward, leg back, hand and shin to the ground. One last time, cow pose. Inhale. Tuck your toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Anytime we're in down dog this morning, you now know a couple options. So table's always an option, cat cow is always an option, child's pose is always an option. And as you find your down dog, let's bend your right knee quite a bit as you drive your left heel toward the ground. And then go ahead and switch. Right heel drives as that right leg straightens, left knee bends. Let's do that one more time on each side. Right knee bends, left leg straightens. And switch. And then we'll lengthen and straighten both legs to the best of your body's ability and desire this morning. And then we're going to start to look at your hands and stroll your feet forward to meet your hands, maybe a little bit of hands to feet. And we'll end up with your knees as bent as you need them to be at the front of the mat to allow your low back to tip forward, to allow the spine to drape. Head and arms get heavy. Let's nod and shake the head a couple times, just releasing the neck. And also just letting all of those head shakes release that you wanted to take this week, but didn't get to. And we're going to bend your knees more, roll up inch by inch by inch. And when you get up to the top, 2 hands to the sky, eyeballs either forward or up, feet rooted and heavy. And let those palms join together overhead, and let's bring your hands down into your heart. As your hands settle there, let's return. Left hand to chest, right hand to belly. Just like you maybe did on your back. Let the eyes close or gaze drop for a couple breaths here. Feel the movement of your breath beneath your hands and within your body. And the meaning and intention that resides there. And then let's begin to move a little bit more. Inhale, 2 hands skyward. As you exhale, palms will come together. We'll bend the knees gently, fold over your legs. Let your fingers find your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Drag your fingers up the shins toward the knees. Let the crown of the head move straight forward. And then exhale, we'll bow. Rise up, reach up as you inhale. Root into your feet. Get long through the fingertips. And exhale, hands down into your heart. Just like that again, no surprises. You're welcome to close the eyes and just move from within your body. Inhale, hands rise. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Adding on. Inhale, let's reach. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, we'll fold, step your left leg back. Let that back knee come on down to the ground. Take your time. We're going to bring your right hand onto your right thigh. And I want you to push down into that right thigh until you feel the space between your right thigh and your right belly start to open. So there's a sense of the right thigh dropping down as the belly starts to engage and hollow. And then from there, let's take your left hand forward and all the way up. Keep pressing into that right hand. Let that left hand come straight up or maybe a few inches back. You're in control there. And then keep pushing into that right hand as you start to tip forward. Take your left hand way forward, and then let that left hand come back down to the ground. Let your right hand come down to the floor as well. Tuck your back toes under, lift the knee. Does not need to be graceful, just find a way. Downward facing dog. So you've got those options. If down dog's not your jam this morning, you've got table, cat, cow, child's, all great options. You can stay in down dog or inhale, come forward to plank, top of a push-up. Let's drop those knees to the ground. Elbows point straight back. We're coming all the way down to the belly. Once you're on the belly, untuck your toes. Inhale, we're going to lift up baby cobra, heart lifts. It's sort of like those T-Rex arms. It's that same action in the upper back that we did as we got started. Shoulders plugging now toward the ceiling, away from the floor. And then exhale, go ahead and lower the forehead back down. We're going to lift and lower here a couple more times. Inhale, lifting. Maybe you keep it low in baby cobra. Maybe you start to put some weight in the hands and lift up higher. Lengthening back through your toes so that you're really lengthening out of the low back. And then exhale right back down. How about 2 more rounds here? You're in control of how much you lift, the pace at which your breath is moving. Last round here. When you come to the belly this time, let's press into hands and knees. Come on up, table. And downward facing dog. As you find that down dog, full breath in. Full breath out. If it makes sense in your body this morning, let's take your left foot to the sky. And foot between your hands with your exhale. We'll put that back knee down, just like we did on the first side. Sneak your left hand onto that left thigh and really actively push down into the thigh until you start to feel the right femur, the thigh bone, descend or press down toward the ground. The belly starts to hollow, core is engaged. And from there, let that right hand come forward, any amount up, and maybe a little bit back. With your next exhale, hand comes forward. Keep pressing into that left hand, and then the right hand finds the ground. Left hand finds the ground. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee, and let's step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Similar but different. Inhale, hands reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting, lengthening halfway. Exhale, bow forward, right leg steps back. Invitation to keep that back knee off the ground this round. If you really like to knee down, knee could come down again. Left hand is coming to that left thigh. Push down into that hand until you start to feel the belly hollow. Right hand goes forward and up, maybe a little bit back. Option to stay here. Option to bring that left arm up to join the right. And then exhale, hands come down around your front foot. Back we go. Downward facing dog. Option to stay or to take one of your other alternative poses, or inhale, come forward to plank. Knees up or down, we lower to the belly. Just 2 rounds of your cobra. Inhaling into that cobra shape as high as you'd like to come. Exhale back to the belly. One more round. Inhale. And lower, exhale. Inhale, press up, table or plank. And downward facing dog. Settling for your breath in. Staying for your breath out. Right leg lifts, inhale. And foot between your hands, exhale. Again, back knee can be up or down, your choice. Either way, we're bringing right hand onto your thigh. Push down until you start to feel that hollow, and then left hand goes forward and up. Maybe a little bit back. Stay there, let your right hand come up to meet your left hand. And then hands come down around your front foot. Left foot steps to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up. And hands to heart. Left hand onto heart, right hand on belly. Close the eyes, drop in, couple breaths. Meaning, intention. Mindfully connecting with the moment, this inhale, and this exhale. And then go ahead and drop your hands by your sides. Let's grab whatever you're using as your yoga strap this morning. Got my hand towel. And we're going to take that hand towel or strap behind your back. And we're going to basically, it's just like we sometimes do when we clasp the hands, but we're going to give it some space. So you're going to grab that item in your fists, turn the palms in that fist shape toward each other. So it's just like you've got the clasp, but you've got space between it. Let's start to bend your knees toward your chair pose. Let the low back get really long. It doesn't need to be a deep chair pose because we're just going to lay the belly onto the thighs. Keep the legs nice and bent and let the arms fall away from your low back any amount. Try not to force that. Again, the depth of how far those arms fall overhead is not what we're going for. Just let them move away from your back. Keep the strap or the towel taut. It's a good word. Let the head be heavy. I'm not super concerned about your legs getting straight here. If that's something you want to do in your practice, great. I think it feels really nice to keep the knees a little bent. Couple more breaths here. Just let things soften. We're going to really, really slowly, be really slow and gentle with this. Bend your knees a little more. Start to ease yourself up. Coming up to standing. Keeping that towel behind you or strap behind you. Knuckles toward the ground, heart toward the sky. Let your shoulders move back. Breathe really deeply into your ribs, into your belly. Last 2 breaths here. See if you can move your knuckles toward the ground any amount more. And as you do that, can you also soften your front ribs down into your body a little bit more? And then go ahead and get rid of that towel or strap. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, fold. Let your right foot stay where it is. Let's take your left leg back. Back knee, back heel off the ground. Let's come on up into our lunge. Ground your back heel, open the shoulders toward the long edge of the mat, warrior 2. So front knee, front toes are pointing straight forward. Back toes, back foot are slightly angled in. So as you find this is warrior 2. We're going to pull your hands back behind you and we're going to clasp, I'll show you in front of me. We're going to clasp just the thumbs, but behind you. Like one of those little finger traps. Pull the thumbs into each other. Keep your legs as they are. And we're going to start to tilt the body over that front thigh. Hands will reach toward the left thigh. And then we're going to come back up. Shoulders are going to tip toward the back leg. Hands are going to reach toward the front leg. Let's go back and forth there a couple times. So maybe inhaling toward the front leg. Exhaling toward the back leg. One more time. Tilting forward. Doesn't matter how deep that goes. And tipping back. And then come back up, shoulders right over your pelvis. Release the thumbs, right hand forward, left hand back. Get really, really long through your middle fingers. Let the base of the neck soften. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. And back we go. Downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's inhale, come forward to plank. You can skip this as always. Knees up or down, we're coming to the belly. We're going to change things up a little bit here. So go ahead and untuck those toes. Hands by your sides. We're just going to lift into baby cobra. So that's no weight in the hands. They can touch the ground, but they're not pushing into the floor. And then we're going to lift your feet up and back. So it's a little hybrid. Cobra in the upper half of the body, locust in the bottom half. As you inhale, get longer from the toe tips to the crown of the head. As you exhale, feel like you could actually lift your belly off the ground. Obviously, it's the only part really holding you up right now, so it's not coming off the ground, but feel like you could. One more inhale here. And then exhale, let it all come down. Press into hands and knees or hands and toes. We lift up table or plank. And downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward, and with your exhale, walk, step, or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, and come on up into chair pose. Hands at heart or hands to sky, doesn't matter. Make sure the shoulders are happy. This is for all of you that claim you love chair pose. Jerry, I see you. Anywhere between a standing desk and a squatty potty, you get to choose the depth of your chair. But it's meant to be a powerful, strong pose. So can you find a depth of chair that lets you get down into the support of your legs? And then on the support of those legs, go ahead and stand up. Hands come down through center as you fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And then we'll fold, right leg steps back this time. Come on up into your crescent lunge. Ground your back heel. Open up, warrior two. Making sure the front knee, front toes are pointing forward. We'll pull the hands back behind you, clasping the thumbs. If you can remember which thumb was in front, try to do the other one. Little pressure into those thumbs, pulling into each other. And then we'll start to tip the torso forward. The hands slide toward your back thigh. And then we'll come on up, tipping toward the back thigh. And hands slide toward that front leg. Go back and forth there a couple times. So this is meant to be opening, not tension building. So take it only deep enough that you're able to feel some of those tight places opening, not so deep that you're creating more tight places. And we'll come on up with your shoulders right over your pelvis. Left hand forward, right hand back. Get long and active through the fingertips. Let the base of the neck soften. And then hands come down around your front foot, back heel lifts. And let's step back, downward facing dog. You know the drill by now. You can skip it, you can stay, you can come forward to plank. We're going to lower to the belly and find that Cobra locust hybrid again. So toes on tuck, heart lifts away from the ground, shoulders move away from the floor, feet fly. If you want a little more challenge this round, maybe you float your hands an inch off the ground. Hug the elbows toward each other. 2 more breaths here. Inhale to get longer. Exhale to feel like you could gather your belly up off the ground. At the end of your next exhale, lower back down. Come up through table or plank. And downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's take your right leg, lift it up and back. We're going to stay here for a couple breaths. If this is no good, just put the right foot back down. If you're good here, stay. If you want a little more, bend that right knee. Let the right hip stack over left. Try to keep the weight even in your 2 hands and your 2 shoulders. And then with your exhale, we're going to bring your right foot forward between your hands. Ground your back heel, let those toes angle out. And let's come on up with the hips facing the front of the mat, warrior 1. Once you're upright, let's bring the palms together. Let the hands settle into the heart. And I want you to actively press the palms into each other. Feel a sense of the collarbones kind of rebounding. So hands push in, collarbones broaden. And let's inhale, press into your right big toe, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, bend the front knee. 2 more times. Straighten. And bend. Straighten. And bend. And then we're going to open your shoulders back to warrior 2. Wiggle the feet until it feels comfortable. Right elbow is coming to your right thigh, left hand to the sky. We're going to turn that left palm to face behind you, bend the elbow, bring the hand down into the small of the back, maybe the non-existent love handle. And let's turn your gaze down toward the right foot. Use that arm, that half bind, to gently open up your shoulder, the side of the neck. So you are invited to stay right here. Option 1. Option 2, right hand starts to release down toward the inner ankle so that there's not weight on the elbow. Option 3, press into your right big toe, straighten the right leg. Couple more breaths wherever you're at. Now, those of you that still want and need more, right? We're not all coming to this practice today from the same place. Some of us need a little less, some softness, some nurturing. Some of us need to burn some stuff off. So if you're in that place where you just need to burn some stuff away, either with that front knee bent or straight, you can take your right arm and reach it forward. Try to change everything else as little as possible. Final big breath here, wherever you're at. And from wherever you're at, we're bending the front knee, bringing your shoulders back over the hips, right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, reverse. Left hand down the back leg, right hand to the sky. And hands around your front foot, back heel lifts. Back we go, downward facing dog. Option to stay put, or option to take a really traditional vinyasa here. So inhale, plank. You've pretty much done it already, but we're just not going to repeat things. Exhale, chaturanga to the belly. 1 round of your back bend. So low cobra, high cobra, maybe that hybrid that we've built of cobra and locust, whatever feels nice for you. Back to the belly, exhale. Table or plank, inhale. And downward facing dog. Other side. Left leg lifts when you're ready, no rush. Remember, we're going to be here for a couple breaths. You take care of you. Skip it if you'd like. Stay here if this is good. Or bend your knee, stack that hip. And then when you're ready, left foot forward between your hands. We'll start by grounding your back heel and coming up facing the front of your mat in warrior one. Hands come to the sky to find that length. And then once you're elongated and upright, let's bring the palms down to your chest. Root into that left big toe. Inhale, straighten the leg. And exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Just feel the steadiness that kind of that simple, repetitive movement and breath creates. And then keep that front knee bent. Open your shoulders toward the long edge of the mat. Warrior two. Once you're there, we'll let your left elbow come to your left thigh, right hand to the sky. Turn the right palm to face behind you. Bend the elbow, bring the hand down either into the small of the back or non-existent love handle territory. And we'll settle in. Let your gaze turn toward the ground today. Gently nurture and encourage that right shoulder to move back and soften. Option to stay here. Option to lower that left hand closer to the ground inside the leg. You can stay here or straighten that front leg, pushing into the left big toe. And then any of those, either front leg straight or front leg bent, you can start to take that left hand forward if that is what your practice needs this morning. More is not always more. Wherever you're at, final breath. We'll bend that front knee if it's not already. Come up, right hand back, left hand forward, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And hands around your front foot as you exhale. We'll take it back, downward facing dog. Invitation to stay or invitation to move. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choosing. Back to the belly, exhale. Inhale, plank or table. And downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Any way that works for you, right foot forward between your hands. Come on up into warrior one. Back heel grounded, hips and belly and body facing forward. Let's bring your hands, option one, to your hips. Option two, fist pressing into the small of the back. Some of you, I'm going to turn so you can see, some of you that it feels okay in the wrists, reverse prayer. So palms pressing together behind your back. It might be pretty low, that's okay. It might be high, wonderful, whatever works. Hips, fists, reverse prayer, your choice. In that warrior one shape, we're going to press into your front big toe, straighten that front leg. And I want you just to bring your kind of mind back to that early work we did with those T-Rex or robot arms. Just kind of imagine that you've got those arms beside you. You're plugging the elbows back into the ground. The shoulders are moving back. The heart, hi Shanti, heart is lifting. You're going to stay here if this is nice, or start to lengthen over your front leg as you really root into the back foot. You're going to do your best to not slump and round, but try to keep that length. If it's too much with your front leg straight, bend the front knee. And then we're going to bend the front knee if it's not already. Come on up. Release your hands to the sky. Maybe you look up toward the hands. Maybe you press those palms together. And then hands down around your front foot. Let your back heel lift. Let that back knee come on down to the ground. As you find that shape, left hand down, right hand to the sky. Open it up. Feel that length across your collarbones, across your wingspan. And then we're going to exhale, and we're going to let the front of your right shoulder come down onto the top of the right thigh. I'll move my left hand so you can kind of see. Move my hair too. So you're going to let the front, kind of where the pec is, rest on your right thigh. And you're just going to kind of let that right hand drape underneath your right leg. Left hand can support you. And I want you to let your entire upper body be supported on that right thigh. What can you soften? What can let go? And then let the right hand come back down to the ground. And up and back you go, downward facing dog. Thanks for the extra core work, Shanti. Again, that opportunity to stay still, to find that vinyasa, that movement, to maybe take a few moments in child's pose. Maybe to rest your head on your dog. Take your time. When you're ready, we're going to lift that left leg to the sky. Last round of standing postures this morning. And we're going to bring that left foot forward between your hands. Ground your back heel. Come on up into your warrior one. Hands on hips, fists behind your back, or that reverse prayer. Whichever one makes sense for you. We're going to straighten that front leg. Feel that T-Rex work, that moving of the shoulders back to create that buoyancy, that lift of the heart. Ultimately, that comes from the strength of your upper back. We're going to do our best to keep that lift as you fold forward any amount. Try to keep it high enough that you're not tempted to round and hunch. Remember, you could bend that front knee if that's a better and more pleasant version of this pose for you. Really root into your back foot. One final breath here. Lengthening out through both legs a little more. And then we're going to come back up, bend your front knee, release your hands to the sky, look up, maybe press your palms together. And hands come down around your front foot. We'll roll onto the ball of your back foot. Let that back knee come on down to the ground. Right hand down, left hand to the sky. And then we're going to roll forward, set that left shoulder so it's resting on your left thigh. Let that arm just sort of loll underneath your leg. And let the entire upper body rest. Everything just completely releasing with gravity into the support of that left leg. And then when you're ready, plant the hand. You've got one final transition back into down dog, which might take you through a vinyasa. It might not. And then ultimately from there, we're lowering the knees to the ground, swiveling the legs around and coming down to seated. As you come to seated, let's start for a few breaths with soles of the feet together, knees open, allowing the hip flexors and the inner thighs to soften for a few breaths. You could have hands out beside you, or you could have hands on shins or feet, and just settle right in. Just got a couple breaths here this morning. You guys are ridiculous. So if this is the comfortable seat for you, I invite you to stay here. If it is comfortable for you to sit cross-legged, crisscross applesauce, start to shift into that. And I think it's really important that this becomes a comfortable way to sit, maybe with the support of props if it needs to be, right? Like we meet ourselves where we're at. So if you sit on the ground like this and your hips start to cramp up, it gets really uncomfortable, I invite you, especially at home, to like get creative and go grab the couch pillow or the chair cushion or a meditation cushion or a pile of blankets and start to lift your hips up higher so that your hips are higher than your knees, which then allows us to be comfortable for most of us. So maybe take some time for that. If not now, maybe you play with it later. But we're going to take your right arm, we're going to fist that hand, and we're just going to bring that fist into the small of your back. Your left hand is going to go up to the sky. We're going to fist that hand, bend the elbow, and drop that hand down behind the neck. Now, I personally like to practice the shape of my arms with the hands just kind of free like this in this fisted shape. But you do have that strap or hand towel if you would prefer to grab it and connect your hands. Right? You could just run the hand towel or the strap between your two hands so that instead of them being fisted, they're holding on to that item. All right. Then we're going to push the head back into that top arm, lengthen diagonally and away from each other through the elbows. Let your hips be nice and heavy. Let the shape find a way to be comfortable. So if it's too much with both arms, just focus on one, either just the left arm, just the right arm. But take your attention back into the breath, that creation of meaning, that creation of intention, of mindful purpose in the moment. And then go ahead and slowly release those arms. Maybe give them a little little swivel. Let's recross your legs, other leg in front. And let's do the other side. So left hand fisted into the small of the back. Use your strap if you'd like. Right arm up to the sky, fist the hand, bend the elbow, drop the hand behind the neck. And either just push your two fists into the back or connect them in some way. Let the head gently press back into that right arm. And drop right back in. Soften the things that can soften here. About 2 more really full breaths here. And then slowly release those arms, take them out, give them a little whoop whoop rotation. That's the sound effect for the rotation, apparently. Whoop whoop. I'm sorry, guys. And then hands come on down to your lap. Pet your fur children if they have joined you. And let's slowly make our way down onto your back with whatever room you have to lay down. Excuse me, guys. So as you come down onto your back, let's bend the knees, place the feet on the ground. And now that you've really moved into the shoulders and the upper back today, well, thanks. Let's come back to that T-Rex arm shape. Press into your upper arms, press into your shoulders, press into your feet, and let's lift the hips just casually. Doesn't need to be really intense, doesn't need to be really drastic. Just lift those hips, couple breaths here. Breathe into the front of your hips. Breathe into your low belly. And then let the hips come back down. Release your little T-Rex arms. Let's bring your right ankle to your left thigh. And start a little sway side to side in your legs. If this feels good, just stay with this, that left foot grounded, that little sway. If it would feel nice to hug the legs in and to grab onto that left thigh or left shin, also an option there. Whatever you're doing here in this moment, allow the back to be heavy, the head to be heavy. Let the ground hold you. And then let the left foot come on down if it lifted. Let the right foot come on down. Let's do that on the other side. So left ankle, right thigh. Start with a little sway side to side. That might be enough for you, or you might hug the legs in, reaching and grabbing onto your right thigh or your right shin. Right foot down, left foot down. If there's any remaining shape or pose that you're feeling like you need today, take some time for it. But we are going to spread out, stretch out, and get comfortable for your final shape of practice this morning. Any shape for Shavasana that allows you to completely and entirely release, completely and entirely relax. And to linger in the meaning of this moment for you. Invite the breath to begin to deepen here. Just linger in the fullness of this breath you've created. If nothing else, by the end of your yoga practice, I hope for you that it's easier to breathe in some way. And as you feel ready to start to add movement back into your body, start to refine that movement. Start small, start gradual, and ease yourself up little by little with no rush to a comfortable seat. Just staying with yourself a little while longer. Hands could be on heart or they could be together in front of the heart, eyes closed. Taking this moment to infuse some meaning, some intention into your breath and into the quality of your mind, into the way that you're settling into your body today that you can take with you into the weekend ahead of you. And let the palms come together in front of the heart if they're not already. Thank you so much for practicing together this morning or whenever you're practicing with us. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to my furry assistants. If there's ever any question, I don't know if you can see it on the screen of how furry my life is. It's furry. But we love them. Guys, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm trying not to use the word guys, and it just is a part of my vocabulary that just comes out. Everyone, thank you so much for being here with us. I hope that you have a really great weekend and a great week ahead. We will be streaming the next few Saturdays with you all. Seville is up next Saturday, Jamie's up the following Saturday, and then I will be back, I believe, the first Saturday of August. So that's what's coming your way. If you would like to donate for class, there's information about our Venmo and our PayPal in the description of this live stream. It's also up on our website, and we greatly appreciate those. Just helps to keep everything sustainable and doable right now. We are continuing to open classes about 1 week before class, and so just keep looking for those registrations in the Salem area. We are working on a schedule for Portland and Vancouver, and as soon as things kind of allow us to open up those dates, we will let you all know. But just look for that. We'll continue to spread the good word. Thank you, Kathy, so much. I think I forgot to feed them breakfast. That's why they're so, yeah. That's why they're so needy today. So I'm gonna go feed these guys. There it is again. So thank you all so much. I hope that you have a great day. I'm gonna end the live stream here. We will be recording at least one class this week in real time and uploading that for you all to practice with. Thank you, Howard, very much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Susan. My pleasure to post the classes. I'm happy to be able to provide them. Thank you, Nicole. Glad you're back. Thanks, Mom. Glad you practiced with us. All right, guys, I'm ending the, see, just comes out. Thank you, everyone. I'm ending the live stream. And bye, Ruth. Enjoy your new space. Welcome back. All right. Oh, thanks, Amy. Have a good day. All right, here goes. Bye, guys. See you soon.